The following is a Podbeard production.
Two brothers in the game! But look at my butt.
Heavy the laxative.
Father, what is this?
I do not know.
My blood moon is rising once again.
In a world where two ordinary gamers team up to fight the forces of boredom, this is their podcast, and this is their story.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hodder.
And I'm Kaz.
And you listening to Two Guys and a Game! What? Cazatober up in this bitch!
Week 2 of Cazatober.
Week 2 of Cazatober. So join all your hands together and celebrate Cazatober. Yay! I made a song this time. Usually you make the song, but I made the song.
Because I'm tired today.
Well, are you ever not tired, Kaz?
Sorry?
Are you ever not tired, Kaz?
Yeah. Usually.
Yeah, usually on the days that I want to record and you can't. Haha. Anyway, we hope you guys are doing awesome. Thank you very much for tuning into episode 44 of Two Guys in a Game on this beautiful Cazatober morning here. It's like fucking 100 degrees outside in the middle of a Cazatober. But
Yes, everything's on fire.
literally, everything is on fire. It's really hot out. And I think
we're in hell.
Are we in hell?
Yes.
Is the Labo
I can
here?
confirm that.
Is the Labo here?
It's just like, how do we know we're really in hell? All of a sudden we turn our heads, the Labo box is just behind us.
Hello, boys.
Hope you're ready for some fun. Some cardboard fun. No!
You guys gotta play with my new expansion. And he just puts it on the table. It's like, oh my god, that's a cardboard cock.
Wouldn't the Labo should be like... The Labo should have the voice like the hormone monster. That'd be funny. Like, hey, you know you want to play with me. Come on.
Come on, play.
You know you want to put that cardboard... Oh, yeah, just shove that slot right in there. Oh, baby. Look at how this cardboard goes together. Don't be too rough with it or it'll break.
It's so, like, it's just...
The Labo Monster, that should just be
Labo.
something.
That's a thing
that just
now.
pops up now.
We're gonna do a
Yeah,
thing.
he's just rubbing your back. Yeah. You want to go play the Labo again, don't you, Kaz? Oh, no, I don't want to play that Labo. That's a terrible game. No. You got to go now. Swing. Haha. Tell TJ you got to go to the bathroom, but we know what you'll really be doing. Playing the Labo. TJ, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Right there, sir. We're recording a podcast. We need some boundaries.
We need some boundaries. Come on, go.
No, go play the Labo.
Go, quick. Oh, you're not getting smashed for Christmas. Oh, God.
You're not getting shot for Christmas. It's gonna be a new Labo game. It's gonna be the new expansion. It comes with a cardboard butthole. It's gonna be great.
So every time the Labo gets referenced, you're walking through Walmart, all of a sudden you walk by the Labo. You know you want to buy that new expansion pack. Look at how long and hard it'll be for you. Yeah, it'll only take you a couple minutes to put together, but that's okay, because that couple of minutes is all it takes. That's all you need.
For at least 20 minutes of enjoyment.
Oh, come on. It's only $90. You have $90 in your wallet. You were going to spend that on what? Condoms to have sex with your girlfriend later? No. You're going to go play the Labo.
That's actually like so fucking hilarious.
The Labo
Oh my
Monster
God.
just
The
pops
Labo
up whenever you at least expect it. And then you have the video game wizard who pops up to...
Yo, that new season was lit, man. It was so good. But
Yeah.
like, what? Okay, so the video game monster.
The
For those
Labo
of you,
Monster.
just real quick, for those of you who are not familiar with what we're referencing the new season of Big Mouth, which is an amazing show on Netflix. Check it out. So the video game wizard would then come and be like, "No, you can't play the Labo," because he'd be a good guy now. So he'd be like, "No, you can't play the Labo. You have to come and play the new."
No.
the new
He'd be a
Smash."
worse villain than the Labo. So the hormone monster is...
So you want to play the Labo?
No, so it'd just be like he'd come up and he'd just be like, what would he'd go? Oh, that's nice. Yeah, playing with cardboard's always fun. What are you doing here? Get out of here. You can't be here right now. Oh, crap. Whatever you do, Kaz, don't fall for it. Just play the Labo. No, maybe you should play Call of Duty Black Ops 4 instead.
With the new
haven't played
mode.
haven't played Call of Duty in a while. Yes, who needs the Labo when you could play Call of Duty Black Ops 4? No, that's worse than the Labo. Kaz, focus. I know we hate the Labo. I know you hate it so much, but come on, play the Labo instead of Call of Duty Black Ops 4. It's not worth it. Kaz, no, he's drowning me out. Oh.
And then maybe after this we can play Fortnite.
And just terrible games.
And maybe some online poker.
Yes. And how would you feel about playing Dora the Explorer My Island Adventure?
I mean, I guess whatever works, you know.
I don't think I want to play any of these games. I think I'm just
No,
going to go
you
play
do,
Legend of
you
Zelda
dirty
Breath of the
little pervert.
Wild. And then you just have like And then there's the other hormone monsters, right?
Yeah.
So we'd have like, the female like Labo Monster or whatever. So she's like all on the girl sides of things, but like she's all like, honey, you gotta play that Labo now. And then you've got the male one who's like, oh yeah, look at her, eh? She knows how to play a Labo. She knows how to play with cardboard, if you know what I mean. I don't know what you mean. Oh yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, she could really. She looks like she could put a piece of cardboard together. And then you've got the
the old one.
The old one. Back in my day, we just played with regular cardboard. Labo. And then you've got the tiny one. Yeah, my Labo hasn't come in yet. But it's just do like a more.
Oh jeez, man.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this paper, this construction paper right here.
This construction paper's so
You're
nice.
doing it all wrong. It's cardboard, you stupid kid.
Back off, newbie.
Oh,
man, you're like a legend down in the academy.
This is all that stupid
my stuff.
The reason why we're all playing Call of Duty now is because of this stupid Call of Duty wizard. We just have to tell him to go away.
Yeah.
Go away, Call of Duty. Go away.
There's a guy my friends call me the Call of Duty lizard. Oh god, that would actually be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh,
Call of Duty wizard, just this evil guy who comes in. You should play a new first-person shooter.
Oh, I've got some new DLC for you, you dirty tramps.
It's only $39.95 for the one DLC pack, or you can get the season's pass for a great price of $149.95.
No. Okay, so Skyrim. So you got the Skyrim monster, right? And guess who the shame wizard is? Todd Howard. That was funny for me. But
no. You would have, if you were gonna do it that way, if we're gonna do different wizards or monsters for games, you could have different ones, right? So you could have like, instead of the Labo monster, you want something that's like really gonna bring shame to you. So like something that's like what would it be? Like not like the hormone monster's all about like, oh yeah, let's think about that plump ripe tomato.
Yeah, he's not really bringing shame.
He's just like he's horny, right? He's just
really
getting you to indulge in your
time.
sexual perversions and everything. So, let's say you're at work and then he pops up because somebody starts talking about video games, right? So she's like, oh, so the video game. Let's just call him the video game monster, right? And he just pops up and he's just, oh man, you really, really like this girl, don't you? I do like this girl. Yeah, but you know what else you like? What? You like that alone time you have in your room where you can just sit there, you can play your video games. Wouldn't that be better? Oh, yeah, that would be better. You start dating her, that all goes away.
And then eventually
that leads to marriage, then kids. And then what? Your kids are playing your video games and you don't have any time to play video games because you've got to work all the time? Oh, shit, I didn't think about that. That's right. Yeah, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to get out here and get that Game Boy Advance up and running again. You know what I'm talking about. Shove that cartridge in there. Nice, slam it in there. That's right. Turn that on button. Get those AA batteries in there. Oh, yeah. Go. Oh, yeah. He's never getting married. He is going to be an introvert his whole life.
It would just be fucking funny, but... on the topic of like the Labo and everything and
how much we hate it
and stuff and I forgot last week to give a shout out to someone and kind of bring something to your attention. It wasn't that we forgot about it. We ended up talking about something else completely different. We're not gonna talk about that, buddy. So, Amazing Nerd Show. Yes. Great podcast that we've kind of had some back and forth with. I got to have a nice chat with them. We always give them shout outs, but we don't always get a chance to really communicate with each other a lot. They're killing it. They're really busy. So I got to have a little chat with them the other day. I appreciate it, boys. So thank you very much. But they ended up hitting me up with a picture the other day, and it was a Labo or thing. And because right now our friends over at the No Geeks Allowed podcast are kind of, they have something ready apparently, but they're just finishing something up. I don't really know what's going on. So if you guys are waiting for the rest of the Labo Wars, you might be waiting another week or two. I'm not really sure what's going on with that.
Are you guys still over there? Yeah, we're over here. Well, can we attack you now? No. Just stay over there. We're working on something.
They said that they have a rebuttal, but they aren't.
The rebuttal's literally going to be this. Would you rather play the Labo?
No, they said something about...
Or play the Labo.
They said something...
No!
They said something about a video or something, so I don't really know what the fuck's going on. But I might give them a message and be like, listen, buddy... Either forfeit or... No. But so, Amazing Nerd Show sent me this picture on Twitter the other day, and they go, okay. And it was like a thing that was like, what's worse then? And it was sleep paralysis, but instead of a demon, it's a local rapper standing over you, repeatedly saying big things to come and to stay tuned over and over again. So it's, would you rather play the Labo or have to deal with that every night?
That's fine.
And then, of course, we know that Kaz, because
Kaz suffers from sleep paralysis.
Yes. Which, by the way, there's going to be an episode of the Hodder Show coming up the next couple of weeks that touches on that. So you guys will definitely want to tune in for that. I'll be sure to share it. But for me personally, that was easy for Kaz. Because you were just like, fuck it, I don't care. I already suffer from sleep paralysis on a regular basis, so fuck it. Which is horrible and terrifying. But
yeah, just a bit.
So I was like, okay. But for me, I've never had the unfortunate experience to deal with sleep paralysis. So I'm like, fuck, okay. I don't really want to deal with sleep paralysis in any form. But I already deal with musicians and stuff telling me on a regular basis, oh, dude, man, we should come on the Hodder Show. Oh, when our album comes out, we can talk about it. Oh, man, like, oh, it's going to be so good. Dude, it's going to be off the chain. Huge things are coming, man. 2018 is going to be our year, bro. And I don't hear from the rest of the fucking year.
And then it's like, 2019 isn't going to be our year, bro, because 2020 is going to be our year, bro.
And I'm like, guys, that's literally like a year from now. What are you doing
2020,
until
like
then?
the vision.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, well, we're working on our record. I'm like, that was 4 years ago. You're still working on it? Yeah, man. And this is me not calling anyone out, just for the record. But, yeah, no. So I would take the sleep paralysis with the local rapper because I pretty much already deal with that on a regular basis in some way, shape, or form. But I wanted to at least give him a shout for that and talk about it on the show. And I was wondering, maybe we give them a little fun little rebuttal. Maybe. Because this is like our gimmick now. We give people rebuttals when they ask us if we want to do something about the Labo. That's become like our gimmick. And we're going to talk about other stuff today, of course. But I was like, I don't know. I want to think of something.
Okay. Would you rather play the Labo or have to do a Back to the Future 1 scenario where you end up getting your mom has the hots for you and you end up having to date your mom? There you go.
Isn't it he dates his mom so his parents get back together or something?
Yeah, he's trying to get his parents back together.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
His mom falls for him and ends up like kissing him, and he's just like fucking traumatized for the rest of his life.
Shit.
Yeah. So there you go.
So yeah, would you guys rather play the Labo or deal with the scenario Kaz just informed? Boom.
I think I just come up
Labo
with the
drop.
best rebuttals because I mean, like, I wouldn't do that. I'd literally just be like, I guess I'm gonna have to play the Labo.
Yeah, but you also said that you'd watch your parents have sex every
Yeah, but that's different. That's watching them. That's not instigating.
That's not your okay, I got you. So yeah, there you go, gentlemen. There's a little rebuttal for you. So hopefully we can, you guys can give us a little answer ski. Let us know. Love to hear from you. But I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that it is time for us to talk about what we are playing this week. And I'm very excited for Kaz to get to what he is playing this week because we have an indie game of the month for you guys. But before I let him kind of go off into that, I wanted to touch on something, and that is what I am playing this week. So, I guess it was last week. I talked to you guys about the fact that I bought 3 games. Got to talk about Stardew Valley, which I am still playing a little bit, and I'm still loving it. But I actually ended up finally being able to play Star Wars Battlefront II.
Nice.
Because it took me like a week to fucking download it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so mad. But I wanted to touch on it because everybody is shitting on this game. And everyone was mad, mostly about the whole loot box situation. And I get it, I totally understand. But for me, I've actually been really enjoying the online play. And the number one thing is when they announced the campaign mode, everyone was like, oh, so they're going to do like a retold Star Wars story. And then when they told them it was a whole new adventure, some people were into it, some people weren't. And I haven't seen a lot of super positive feedback for the campaign in my inner circle, in my kind of gaming circle. So I was like, you know what? I played the campaign mode. I absolutely fell in love with that story. It was amazing, especially the fact that like I said, I only paid like $12.49 for it.
Right.
So maybe it's because I paid so little, folks. It was on sale that I'm loving this game so much. Maybe if I paid $80, I'd be a little more pissed off. But
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
the $80 price tag, dude. Honestly, like for the campaign mode that I played through, I got maybe 2 days, kind of 3 max out of it once I played kind of the extra bonus story.
Okay.
But I mean, that was me playing it for a couple hours a day, you know. So like, I still got a lot of enjoyment out of it. It was a great story. Basically, you play, if for those who are not familiar, you play as. Did you play Battlefront 2? I haven't. No. So basically, you play as this elite trooper in the Empire from Inferno Squad, Iden, and she leads her little strike team, Inferno Squad, around. And you start off and you're like captured by a rebel transport, and then you have to like break out, and it's this big, huge, awesome sequence, and you know, you join up with your team, and then you go on to Endor, and then you witness the Death Star exploding.
Oh, okay.
And like, I'm not really gonna like spoil anything huge, but like everyone kind of knows at this point that's what happens. But and then like as you go throughout the game, basically there's a ton of character developing. One of your main dudes on your squad, Dell is his name. He's kind of he's a great trooper, but he's kind of a loser from what I gather. And he ends up like meeting like Luke, and like all this amazing character building happens. And like throughout the game, it's just like this really cool story develops of, you know, someone joining the rebellion and blah, 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 blah. And obviously you have your on the ground combat, which is top notch in this game. I'm really, really enjoying the freaking combat, because my number one complaint with Battlefront was the fact that sometimes it felt really clunky, and then other times I understood the whole not having ammo clips. I totally understood that because it was the Star Wars universe.
Right.
But I was like, there's got to be a way they can like throw something in. And then they have the whole heat sink thing. So now it's the same way. If you're shooting your gun too rapidly, too long, it'll overheat, and then you have to wait for it to cool down, or you have to press a certain time command. Whereas with this game, if you get to a certain point, you can either stop and let it go down like normal, or you can press square and eject your heat clip and throw another one in.
That's pretty cool.
And so it still takes a second to cool down. So you still have that split. So you have to be strategic. You can't just run and gun, you know, like you can in Call of Duty and that. So there's still a lot of like thinking involved, but it's like it's so rewarding when, you know, you're in the middle of a firefight, and it's a really intense firefight. And especially in the campaign, like there was some moments where like I'm having these like really intense firefights where I'm like, shit, like it's me and Dell going up against like a bunch of troopers and like a walker or something. And I'm like, how the hell am I going to get out of this? And then, you know, you find like a rocket launcher, and you go, okay, so then you take out the walker. Then there's still like 20 or 30 troopers you got to take out. And it's like, how the hell? And like the AI is so smart in this game.
Yikes.
Like I'll like, because I always make like a sniper's nest or something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can't get to where I am from where I'm at. And the next thing you know, I'm sitting there, bang, 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 and oh, here's my machine gun, fuck you all. And the next thing you know, like, here comes a smoke grenade. And I'm like, wait, what? And the next thing you know, I'm surrounded, and they kill me. And I'm like, they didn't do this. Like, this stuff doesn't happen in campaign modes for most shooters.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't happen. And some people might be like, oh, you're just not playing the right shooters, bro. Because it happens all the time. But I've never experienced it.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, man, like, this is intense. And then, like, obviously, there are certain levels that are like, there's a lot of emotion. Like, there's just so much going on. And the combat is just so fluent. Graphically, it's a beautiful game. There's a lot of, it's not like, I mean, mind you, again, I've played after all the updates. So,
Right, okay.
I guess in the beginning, there was a lot of issues with kind of frame rate issues and that, but it's now all been fixed. I think the game has froze for me once, and I've been playing it for like 2 or 3 weeks now.
We call that Bethesdaing.
Yeah. Haha. Shout out to our boy Todd Howard. Come on the show, buddy. I know he listens, so it's just a matter of, you just got to get him on the show. But I think that, like I always say that, so, hey, Todd Howard, come on the show, buddy. Come on, come on, thanks for having me, buddy. So I'm here to introduce Skyrim 5 for the Two Guys in a Game console. What's that? Well, so you can play Skyrim on your podcast. But I just mainly wanted to touch on Battlefront 2 for me. And one really, really cool thing about it is when they kind of released it, all the like the points to get your heroes were like doubled from the original game. Okay. That's not the case anymore. So now, I mean, you know me, I love my starfighters, and the fact that I can go on arcade mode offline, jump in a Y-wing bomber, and take people out. I'm like, yo, like this is the best. I'm so happy with it. Even though there's only like 2 levels I can do it in, I don't care. I just keep replaying those levels. I don't give a shit. I'm like, gold leader, motherfucker. And I just start taking everyone out. It's so fun. But like, I had to tell a quick funny story about that because I jumped online and I was playing Starfighter Assault. So I jump on, it was my first time playing the game. online. But I had gotten the controls for the Y-Wing down, and I was always deadly with a Y-Wing in the old game. So I'm like, whatever. You can't take me on a Y-Wing. It's just not going to happen. Jump in my Y-Wing, go online, and I jump into a fight where we were losing by 10. I was like, shit. Okay. Rebel Alliance, we got to catch up. All right, buddy, let's do it. So I jump in, and I see a dude flying around in the Slave One. So immediately he's my target. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So I go and start chasing him down in my Y-Wing, which is, if you're not familiar with the Y-Wing, it's a very slow but very powerful ship with a lot of defensive capabilities. And the first upgrade I got for it was raise its defense. So, like, it's even more. So I'm cruising after the Slave One, just slowly, beep, 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 like just slowly pegging at it. I'm using my ion cannons and my torpedoes. So I can tell the guy's like frantically trying to shake me, and he can't. He's in the slave. It's a slow ship, Slave One. So I'm like, "Fuck you, bitch!" I'm just going at him and going at him and going at him and going at him, and finally I end up blowing him up. Like after like probably 2-3 minutes of dog fighting, and I'm like, "Ha, fuck you, buddy." So then I like slowly turn and I start taking out other guys, and mind you, the whole time no one helped him, which I thought was really funny. Like his teammates are just like, he'll shake him.
Boba Fett's just like, help me! Help
You're gonna get the best of me.
And all the TIE fighters are just like, they're just like, I'm sorry, sir. We can't help right now. We're kind of, tied up at the moment. Darth Vader's like, shut the fuck up.
Well, it'd be Kylo Ren now, but yeah.
Oh, was it Kylo Ren in that fight?
Well, no,
because
that's my only problem with the. And I'm not done my story yet, but I'm gonna get back to it for a sec. My only problem with the game sometimes is you get your heroes. You can play any hero on any map with any faction
except Darth Vader. No.
Well, no. So like, if I'm playing Rebel Alliance, like on Endor, episode 6, I'm doing my thing. Then all of a sudden, here comes Kylo Ren. And I'm like, wait, what?
And the music's like, dun, 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 and you're like, oh my God. And then Rick's behind him. There you go, Kylo. I give you a portal to the Endor place.
Give you a portal to episode 5, bro.
Enjoy that shit. That is kind of annoying. But,
It's just for me, I'm like, there's got to be a way they can, like, and I get it.
Yeah.
Because you can play as, like, the Clone Troopers too, which is really cool, and like you can play as Yoda going against Kylo Ren, and I'm like, so like I get it, like it is cool.
It'd be really coul though, is if can you play as Ewoks?
There is actually a mode. I think it's only online, but you can do like Ewok defense. I'm not sure what. I haven't played it yet, but I think you can play as Ewoks in that. Isn't that stupid? Kind of fun though. But just back to my story, just to finish it off quick. So I keep going, and mind you, I got one kill in like 2 or 3 minutes. So now we're behind by like 15 or 16. Like
right.
My team was doing really good.
You were dicking around.
Yeah, but they had 2 hero ships. So they had them, and then they had someone that was in the TIE Silencer, which is Kylo Ren's ship, which is like the deadliest ship you can be for the Imperials, from what I've gathered.
Yeah,
because his ship is like, dude, it's kind of slow for a TIE fighter, but it's like. One second you get behind someone, it's fucking over.
Yeah.
Like, you can't escape
his
Kylo
ship
Ren's
is
ship.
sick, man.
So after I took him out, I guess at that point, the guy who was Kylo Ren was like, okay, fuck this guy. So he starts trying to chase me down. And I'm not saying I'm a better pilot than him, but after 4 minutes, he just moved away. He just gave up. And as he's trying to take me out, I'm taking out all of the AI TIE fighters. Okay. I'm not trying to shoot down because everyone was in the Interceptor, which is like the really quick TIE fighters. So yeah. I can't fucking catch them. It's just not going to happen. So I won't even try. So I'm cruising around taking all the AI, slowly racking up points for my team.
Yeah.
And Kylo Ren's trying to take it, and he literally just every time he'd almost kill me, astromech droid, back up to full health. And I kept like flying in between because we were in the Death Star debris level. So like there's all this debris kicking around.
Yeah.
And I knew I was just a little bit smaller than him. So I kept going in between shit. And he'd have to like pull up and then come back down. And like, it was just because I knew the level so because I played it. And I was like, I'm in my Y-Wing cruising around. And so finally he gives up and goes off to do something else. Because I couldn't hear him obviously. But I could literally just like, I could hear him. You know what I mean? Like I could like, him just like, fuck this. And he just goes off.
Yeah.
And so I end up, like, I start shooting down people in the interceptors, like, really slowly but surely. And next thing you know, we're ahead by, like, 6 or 7, because my team someone gets in Poe Dameron's X-Wing, and we just start fucking wrecking them. And then I get kicked off. I was like, oh, damn. Like, shit, that sucks. Jump back in. Same fight, luckily. Cool. Jump back in. Shoot down a couple guys. Kicked out again. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? I keep getting bumped. So I go back in one more time. Get kicked out immediately again. I'm like, what the fuck? So one of the guys messages me. The guy who was like, I guess he was hosting the game. He was like, dude, stop fucking coming on our thing. You're hacking. And I started laughing so hard, dude. I said, bro, why do you think I'm hacking? He has, you have some kind of like unlimited health or something. I'm like, I said, no, I'm just better than you. So I ended up jumping back in one more time right for the game to end. So I was kind of like, okay, at least I was here for the game. And someone who I was on the team messaged me. And they were like, bro, that was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. I was like, what? He's like, the fact that you're in a Y-wing and they couldn't shoot you down. And it's like, it was just, obviously the guys who were trying to shoot me down were still kind of new to the game. They had to have been.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know the level as well as I did. So that's the only reason why. But I was
You're hacking.
I just thought it was so like you're hacking. I'm like, no, I'm just because no one plays as the Y-wing as the bombers. No one usually does online from what I can gather. So like people aren't used to shooting down the bombers, and I'm like, bro, if you know how to pilot the bomber and the Y-wing, like you can't fucking take me down.
That's so great. Happening. That's like the best when somebody thinks you're hacking. Dude, you're so hacking. There's no way you could get 25 kills in one match. It's crazy. No, I'm just really good. I'm actually just now. I'm not saying I'm really good. I'm just saying I knew the level and stuff. But anyway. But yeah, no. So if you guys haven't checked out Battlefront 2, you really, really should because it's. And you should go online with TJ because he hacks.
Yeah, because I hack. Mind you, the next fight I went on, I got my fucking ass kicked. So it was just like the right situation.
There's balance in the force, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because then I jumped in an X-wing and fucking couldn't take anyone out, and I was like, ah, shit, buddy. But yeah, no. So overall, as far as replayability and stuff for the game, because I was like talk about that. Obviously, the campaign you're not going to play through twice because. It's a campaign. Yeah. There's not like different story arcs or anything. Here. I might play through it again in a couple of weeks just to kind of play it again because that's how much I did enjoy it. But I'm not going to get anything out of it. Aside from playing on a higher difficulty, which I might do. As far as replay for everything else, though, like it's one of those games you'll never get bored of because there's always something cool going on. The Galactic Assault stuff is amazing. If you have a good internet connection, I mean, I don't, but I can still kind of play it. So it's really good. Overall, for the price of it was $12.49. I don't think it's that price anymore. I think now it's gone back up. But I think you can pick it up for like $30 still now.
Yeah,
in
probably.
A physical copy. Definitely check it out. I highly, highly recommend it because it is a lot of fun, guys. A lot of fun. Okay, guys, so we're going to take a quick second to give a much-needed shout-out to our good friend, Mr. Jason Reese from Jaybird Digital Arts. Whether you guys need t-shirts, logos, business cards, phone manipulation, custom art, anything like that, Jason is your guy.
You've seen our logo. You've seen how awesome it is. Hit him up today by going to www.jaybirddigitalarts.com. That is JAYBIRD digitalarts.com. Go there right now.
Right now, guys. Just pause the podcast.
Jaybird Digital Arts.
Digital Arts. Now, I do believe that it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for me to hand over the reins of this podcast to my illustrious co-host to celebrate Cazatober and him to talk about his indie game of the month.
When AAA game developers make crappy games, he will be here. When you do not feel like spending 80 of your hard-earned dollars on a video game, he will be here. Or when you just feel like playing a video game that defies the law of video games, he will be here. This is Cazador Jones' Indie Video Game of the Month.
Yeah. Cazatober Jones.
Cazatober Mother Trucking Jones in the house. I'm sorry I went off so much there, buddy. I didn't mean to. I just want to talk about the... Damn.
That's fine. I'll let you have your moment.
I appreciate that, buddy.
It's not Hodtober over here, okay? It's Cazatober.
Cazatober, bitch. So, Kaz, my man, the good people have been chomping at the bit to know what your indie game of the month is, and
who are the good people, and why are they chomping?
The motorized windblowers, and they're all bow wows. What are those dudes called from Mario? Is it Bow Wows? Chain Chomp. Who's Bow Wow?
Bow.
I don't fucking
He's
know
a rapper, Little Bow Wow.
I was gonna say Little Bow Wow. Shout out to Little Bow Wow.
Oh my god.
But we did talk briefly last week about kind of how you had a similar situation when you bought like 3 games. We talked about 2 of them last week, and you hyped up the fact that what your indie game of the month is.
Yes, I did. So my indie game of the month is an interesting game. It was on sale, much like TJ,
Those are the best way to buy games, buddy.
No, I mean like how you're on sale.
Ha ha.
No.
You can buy me with beef and cheddars, mate.
I'll give you my beef and cheddar.
So you're saying your beef's covered in cheddar, mate?
Yeah, no. So
Anyway, buddy.
I was buying some games, and one of these games I saw, like I've seen it a couple times, and it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, let's take a look at this. It was on sale. It was $20 off. It's usually a $40 game. And very much so I can see why it's $40 because it was worth every penny I paid for it. So even at full price, it's worth every penny. It's called Iddle Dew 2 Plus. It is for the Nintendo Switch. As I am to understand, this one's only available for the Nintendo Switch. I may be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure it's only available for the Switch. But it's also like just the basic version of the game is available on Steam and some other consoles. I don't quote me on that one, but I'm pretty sure it's on those. And yeah, so it's definitely worth looking into if you are interested in games like Zelda or anything that's kind of got that Zelda feel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and you were kind of showing me the game last week, and like it does seem like it kind of has that vibe, but it's not like completely like that.
No. And I guess one of my friends was actually telling me about this because I had brought up that I had bought it to him, and he was like, "Oh, okay, cool." He's like, "Actually, did you know like where this game comes from?" And I was like, "No, I don't." He goes, "Well, actually," he's like, "the reason why this game was even made was because the creators of the game were getting sick and tired of waiting for Zelda Breath of the Wild to come out, and so in absence of Zelda, they decided to take it into their own hands and make their own game that was very similar to Zelda." And basically, they said, this'll do. And that's where they came up with the name Iddle Dew. So they had a lot of success from their first game, obviously. Led them to make their second game, which is incredible, super fun. And I'm just going to, I guess, get into talking a little bit about that at this point now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like, you know me, I want to hear about the story. I want to hear about the characters.
So the interesting thing is you start off, and from what I can tell, the first game is very similar. Is you start off on a raft, and your character is named Iddle. That's the name of the character.
Which is mind-blowing to me.
Which is hilarious. I just love it. And she is just an adventurer, and she's just trying to, go on adventures and whatever. And I guess they're trying to find, like, health potions or whatever. And I guess health potions are, like, their alcohol. So she's with her she's got this flying fox partner who's basically like her fairy, like her Navi, who's completely sarcastic all the time, but gives her hints or gives the player hints or whatever. And he just wants to basically get drunk off of health potions as well. So that's the whole thing. Like, hey, maybe we'll find health potions in this dungeon. And Iddle's always like, life isn't all about health potions. Sometimes you just got to go on an adventure for the fun of it. So you start off, you're on this raft, and what's actually really funny about it is, I guess the first game, you're on a raft and you crash into an island and you have to rebuild your raft. So that's what you collect.
Okay.
You go back, you go around the island and
collect your wood and stuff.
In all the dungeons, you collect all of it and you put it back together, and then that's the end of the game and basically whatever. So the second one is similar. You're on your raft and all of a sudden your raft breaks. But this time, I guess they wanted to put a little bit of a comical spin on it, which threw me off right away. It starts off and it's a nice little animation, and they're sitting on their raft and they're just like, oh, we're dying kind of thing. And all of a sudden the raft breaks and it zooms out and they're just in a little puddle. And the characters are just kind of like, oh, our raft broke again. Great, what are we going to do now kind of thing. And it's like, well, I guess we got to go around all these dungeons again and collect raft pieces. And then this one guy runs up and he goes, no, don't go into dungeons, don't do anything, blah, blah, blah. Stop putting your nose into places they don't belong and all this stuff. So your character's like, whatever, we got to go get these raft pieces. So basically from there, it's just like classic Zelda style. You just wander around, you can do whatever you want. There's no like order you have to do the dungeons in. You can just do the dungeons in any order.
So it's like Zelda. You can just kind of do whatever.
It's really nice. And yeah, so mechanics are very similar to Zelda. Instead of a sword, you have like a stick when you start off. It's just literally like a stick, and you just start whacking enemies and blah, blah, blah. And you can, and there's all these hidden caves and dungeons throughout the land, much like Zelda. And they did a really good job on it, with the humor aspect of it. And like the enemies are hilarious. Like your first enemy that you like end up seeing on the overworld map is like a platypus. Literally, it's like this. Like it's like
they call it a platypus.
No, it's literally like it's like I don't know what I can't remember what they call them. They have like they're called like bun buns or something like that. Just like stupid names, but it's literally like this little like it's a platypus. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
And they're like the stupidest looking things, right? And so all these dungeons are unique. Like you go into one dungeon, and I'm trying to remember all the bosses. Like the bosses aren't unique. The bosses are usually like, that's the fun thing about that is when you get to the end of a dungeon and you fight your boss, they're reoccurring bosses.
Okay.
So you've got one that's like a robot boss. You've got one that's like this weird little wizard diamond guy who's just angry, and then you've got like a centaur. But they all have like a mechanical like
aspect
to them where they're fighting,
That's
where you
cool.
fight them, and they all have a strategy that you can figure out, and they get harder as you fight them again later on in the game, right? I think you end up fighting like them. I want to say there's 8 dungeons. So you end up fighting them maybe twice each or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's pretty cool concept there. And then in the dungeons, I found them like they're actually really they make you think, which is something that everybody who's like a dungeon crawler kind of gamer who plays Zelda, they want that puzzle
Yeah,
aspect.
you want to be challenged to a point.
And
yeah.
this one does it like 100%. Like I actually went into, they have these in Iddle Dew 2 Plus, they actually added a bunch of bonus stuff into it.
Okay.
So they have this bonus world where you can go and do all these dungeons, and there's no real reward. It's just to do it, right? Like they've made these hard dungeons. Holy crap. Like the hardest dungeons I've ever done. But they were so much fun. I was like, if Zelda could do this, like if they were making dungeons like this again, like, yeah, so that was something that I really liked. Like, I was just doing dungeons just for the challenge of it, but I enjoyed it. And I was like, wow, I actually...
Just for the fun of
there
the
was no
puzzles,
reward.
man.
There's just like, just do this, right? And, yeah, so that was kind of cool. And the regular dungeons, they're tricky too, but they're just kind of like more laid back and they're fun. You just walk through them. You find your item. Usually you get your item in the dungeon, wherever. Instead of hearts, it's like, well, you do have hearts, but instead of like finding pieces of hearts, it's called boxes of crayons. And each time you find a box of crayons, you can draw in a quarter of your heart kind of thing, which is pretty funny. And yeah, so the whole game basically comes around the fact that you're hunting down these raft pieces. Each time you beat a dungeon, you get a piece of raft, which is just kind of funny. It's kind of like your Triforce pieces or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so you go through and you do all that, and then you fight the last boss, and it's basically like, you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but he's just like this crazy guy, and you get your raft, and the game's over, and basically, like, if you do all the extra missions and stuff, you can, you get your true ending. Like, they have a true ending and then a regular ending.
Regular ending, yeah.
Which is fun. And then another interesting aspect is, even after you beat all the dungeons, there's an even harder dungeon, like harder dungeons to do. And if you beat these dungeons, you get keys. You can collect these keys and go and fight an even harder boss, which is awesome. And I don't want to even spoil anything with that. Like, I mean, not that there's really spoilers, but that's really fun. And the funny thing is too, so they have these. There's one dungeon in particular that I really liked, and it's a museum, like an art museum kind of thing you have to go through, and you go through this museum and there's like pictures everywhere, but every time you walk up to a certain picture, Iddle is like, what the hell? Like, and and like some of the pictures are referencing Iddle Dew 1.
Okay.
And so she'll like make a reference like, oh, what's this guy doing here? And everything like, oh, and like the boss, like the big bad guy from the first game or whatever. And just kind of funny. And then there's one called Mega Bun, which is the platypus I was talking about.
But it's like a big one.
But it's this big buff duck, and he's like completely nude. But he's like
Oh my
ripped,
God.
and he's just like, and his eyes are going off in different directions. And I saw this picture, and this is kind of like, this isn't really going super off topic.
you were like, oh, wow, why's that picture of Hodder here?
No. I was like, I had seen that picture before, and I was like, what the hell? And I had seen certain references to it, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. And actually, what's interesting is there's actually a game, a Smash Brothers mirror game made off of Iddle Dew, which I didn't know about. But I started to seeing certain characters that were in the game, and they matched this mirror game that I've seen online a couple times, like people playing it. And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, so I started looking into that, and I'm like, wow, these guys really love Nintendo that much that they're making their own variants of the games just to kind of
Tie themselves over, basically.
Yeah, until the next game comes out. I'm like, these guys are hilarious. So yeah, so there's actually a Smash Brothers based game off of Iddle Dew. I can't remember what it's called. Someone told me the name of it, and I feel like it has something to do with Iddle Dew, but
Well, I mean, I'm currently looking at the developer, so let me see what it is here.
yeah, so was actually funny. Anyway, so yeah, so then you see this like Mega Bun or whatever his name is, and I'm just like, he's this big buff duck dude, and I'm just like, what the hell? And it's just like the Mega Bun, whoever painted this clearly has some issues or whatever. It's just this big blue nude duck, and I just thought it was hilarious. And then to make things even better, which just make me laugh, is so those extra dungeons that I was talking about, the hard ones that you have to go into to get these keys, the boss in them is called the Mecha Bun. So
Mechabun.
he's like, I am Mechabun, and it's this giant robot buff quack duck platypus thing, whatever you want to call it, and he throws dumbbells at you. It is freaking hilarious. I literally died laughing fighting him the first time because he's not like well, like I know a lot of people struggle with him, but if you just watch him and you find his pattern, you can beat him, right? He's just like any other boss. He has that pattern, and then he has that moment of weakness where you can start damaging him and everything, right? And you just kind of rinse and repeat that process. So I thought it was so hilarious because he literally drops out of the ceiling the first time, and I'm like, oh my god, what is this? And he's just like, I am Mechabun, and I'm just like, oh my god, like it was just hilarious. It's like this big buff metal robot duck, and you're fighting him, and he's throwing dumbbells at you. He's a robot for one, so why is he lifting weights? It's just and so he starts throwing weights at you, and the first couple times I fought him, I kept losing. Because I couldn't find out the strategy, because he's actually kind of tough at first. But then once you find out his pattern, I got it down pat, and I'm just like, oh, sweet, and beat him. And then what makes matters better is I go to the next dungeon, and I'm just like, okay, the next secret dungeon, and I do this one, and I'm just like, oh man, I wonder what the boss is going to be on this one. He fucking drops out of the ceiling again, and he just goes, I am Mechabun. And I'm just like, oh my god, you're going to be the boss in every one of these secret dungeons, aren't you? But this time, though, he's harder. He starts throwing more dumbbells at you.
He gets harder.
He gets harder every dungeon you do. So I'm assuming you fight him every time, but I'm just like, what the frick? So he starts throwing more dumbbells at you, and his pattern changes, and I'm just like, what the fuck? But he is literally the best boss in the game. I mean, like, okay, I shouldn't say that.
In your opinion,
in my opinion, he's the best boss because he's just like, I am Mechabun, and I'm just like, oh my god, like this big robot duck. He's literally my favorite thing.
Oh my god, this big robot duck is hilarious.
He is the best. So yeah, of that other aspects of this game, the reason why I would recommend to buy it is even if it's like full price, half price, whatever, it is a full-fledged game. I spent at least 16 to 25 hours on this game already.
Which is pretty good.
The amount of puzzles that are in it will keep you going. It actually makes you think. It's one of those thinking games. Like, I mean, I got stumped to the point where like I was going on YouTube to watch people and seeing how they were doing the puzzles and like the ways that there's different ways to do the puzzles.
And then
too.
You saw their strategy, and even though you didn't fully
actually,
you were like, "It'll do, mate."
No, actually, there was one video I was watching. The guy, he was doing a Let's Play.
I was waiting to make that joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Yeah. So he was doing a Let's Play, and I went on to watch to see how he was going to do this puzzle because I could not figure this puzzle out for the life of me. Like I had been stuck on it for a good hour and a half, and I was starting to get frustrated now. So I go and watch him do it. He does the same thing I did. He gives up. He's just like, yeah, you know what? Fuck this puzzle. I'm not doing this puzzle right now. And he walks away, and this video ends. And I just went, what the fuck, mate? I'm like, and but he actually got to the point in the puzzle where I couldn't get to, right?
Uh-huh.
So he showed me how to get to this one point. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I got to this point, and then I figured it out, and I was like, oh,
That's the best is when you like just kind of get led along a little bit. And you figure it out.
I figured it out. I was like, oh my god. I'm like, that makes so much sense. Why didn't I think about that? And and that's the one thing is when you get into these really intense puzzles, it becomes a timing factor. That's the thing a lot of people don't get is it's all about your timing because it's like there's one puzzle where it's like you literally have a split second.
It always takes skill to do that.
You literally have to time everything like perfect, and if you don't time one thing, it just fucks the whole puzzle. So that's what he wasn't doing. He wasn't timing one of the puzzles right, and I figured it out, and I was like, you know what I should do? I should email him. And then I saw his next video, and he figured it out, and I was like, oh, okay, he already got it.
Oh, okay,
I should still email him. Thanks, your videos didn't really help me complete the puzzle, but I did complete it on my own. Yours truly, Cazatober motherfucking Jones. P.S. Yes, I motherfucked your mother.
P.S. 2 guys in a game, bitch.
And yeah, no. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, yeah, like the items in the game, those are great. They have so many. They're unique in their own way, so they don't like follow Zelda to a T.
It is and like you just to quickly jump in on that for a sec. You did show me the game. I got to play it for a few seconds, and I mean, just quickly from my point of view, I literally jumped on the Switch, which is a console I'm not super comfortable with, really. And I was next thing you know, I was fighting a boss within the minute, and I was like, "Oh, I got this figured out pretty much." So it's a game that is amazing to jump in. The controls are so top notch.
Yeah.
And like you have your different items and stuff, which you were going to talk about. I wanted to quickly throw that in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and the items are great. Like honestly, like, and I love it because you can just like your overworld, you'll find items that are useful to you. Like you find things that give you more attack damage that that like there's items that like increase the distance of how like far away you can hit an enemy from, like with your sword or your weapon at the time. And yeah, so the items are pretty cool. Like they have like they try and follow the lines of Zelda without crossing the lines. Yeah, like which is amazing.
It's inspired, but it doesn't seem like from what I'm seeing online of it, it's not like it's identical. It's just it was inspired.
And it's kind of like and that's the funny part about it is it's just like, hey, like whoever's playing this game, just so you know, yes, we are copying. They're not ashamed to say we are copying Legend of Zelda. They're basically saying we're paying homage to Legend of Zelda here.
Yeah, copying's not really the right word.
We're just we're just giving you a game to tide you over and whatever. And this is a Zelda game.
This is the game we want to play.
But this is what we want to play right now, and it's not coming out. So hey, here you go.
And well, from what I can gather from the story and that, and like from what I've seen online, like it's still a very unique world.
Oh yeah,
like the characters and stuff, like it's still very unique.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, don't get me wrong, it's a very original idea that is sort of not original, but you know what I mean. And I like the concepts of the weapons, like how the weapons work. Like instead of starting off with a sword, you start off with a stick. Instead of bombs, you get dynamite. Like
little things like that.
Just tiny little like knocks to Zelda. Like, hey, you need bombs to blow stuff up, but we can't use bombs because that's what Zelda uses. So we'll use dynamite. That's funnier. And the dungeons are hilarious. And like there's like literally a dungeon called the Banana Mines where you go in and it's literally like people like in that world they mine for bananas. Like what the hell? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Who mines for bananas?
And then
Donkey Kong comes in and is like, "You got a problem, boy?" It's like, "No, sir. No,
Get
sir,
back
Kong.
to work and mine them bananas."
Then he runs away.
And then and I'm just trying to think. Like they have like a Candy Beach, which is like the worst. Like it looks terrible when you get there. You're like, there's candy on the beach. You just think like, oh, like sand and candy. It's like, oh, like so. Yeah, that's like and they have some really cool worlds. Like they have one where it's like the winter area, which is kind of cool. You walk in there and there's this just random enemy there who's just like named Slayer Jenny. And that's kind of another joke is all the characters in this world are like referenced as Jennies for some reason. So there's different kind of Jennies. So it's like there's like Safety Jenny, Kitty Jenny,
God.
All these Jennies.
What's Safety Jenny? What's her?
Safety Jenny is in the first temple where you walk in. It's called the Pillow Fort.
What?
And you go in and she's all like,
I need to play this game.
She's like, be careful walking around here, okay? Or I'll have to hit you. And your character's like, or one of the main characters is just like, oh, hit me with your safety stick and whatever. And just like, it's like this little foam stick or whatever. And then, but it does damage you, right? Like you can fight them and everything. So that's one thing. So anyways, there's a character called Slayer Jenny, and she literally like, she's one of the toughest overworld enemies you fight. And you just walk around and she literally just has all these crazy movesets. And so the first time I encounter her, she's just like, wait a minute, who are you? I smell something. And then she starts attacking you for like no reason. You're like, what the fuck? Don't attack me. I didn't do anything wrong. And you can beat her, but only temporarily. And then she like reappears on the map in other places. So yeah, so I meet her and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Anyway, so I go to one of these bonus dungeons or I find like one of these little under the areas and I'm like, oh, okay. And I go through and like the first room, you got to fight a really tough enemy. I'm like, oh, okay, beat you. Second room, you got to fight another tough enemy. I'm like, okay, beat you. Third room I go into, it's fucking... Slayer Jenny, but like a harder version of her. I'm just like, God. What the fuck? So I literally have to strategize and figure out how to beat her. Finally figured out a strategy to beat her, and I'm just like, bam, beat her ass, and it's all for fucking the stupidest possible thing I could ever get, like just a dumb item. And I'm like, really? I'm like, you couldn't have given a better reward for that? But yeah. No, there's so much fun in the game, and it's all just like literally like. It's you get lost in it. It's a great world to be in, and
it's a really beautiful world from what I can gather.
Yeah,
too.
And honestly, like I can just see them like taking that franchise and just going places with it. Like it'll be very fun. It's a very fun game, so I recommend that.
How is it? Because you know me, I like to talk about replayability. Is there any replay value there for you, or are you going to jump back into it, or?
I think it's. I guess it depends on the kind of person you are. Like, so yeah, like I think it's one of those games that maybe like a year from now I'd pick back up and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna get back into this. I'm gonna try this game again. But right, like after you beat it, it's not like you're like, oh, I want to jump back into the game and.
But it's still a great experience.
But yeah, it's a good experience, and for the amount of money, like I paid for it, like $20 for me when it was on sale was great. I know it's like full price is like $40. But
and that's for console, and also, by the way, it is available on other consoles.
I'm pretty sure.
Because I just looked it up, and I can get it on PS4 apparently.
Oh, okay.
So I'm maybe looking that up. Actually.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth a look at for you, and it is worth the money. Like even for $40, Yeah, it's a bit pricey, but you're still getting your money's worth for what the game is.
And you're supporting an indie developer like I believe it's Ludosity is the pronunciation of it. They're actually from Sweden.
Yeah,
and they have a lot of really cool looking games, by the way.
They do, yeah.
But I couldn't find the name of that one game I was trying to look up.
Yeah, I
Smash Bros. I see, but yeah, they have a lot of really cool looking games. So you guys should definitely check them out.
And they're definitely
Facebook
on the side of wanting to make games the way that like the fans of like Nintendo like.
Yeah, it just seems like they're fans.
Yeah,
they're people,
and they're
that
literally
want,
just making games based. Yeah, so that it's always good to support those kind of games if you want to see better games come out of them. And obviously they already have a lot of support. So
but definitely if you want to check them out, they've got Facebook and Twitter. Check them out on the web, just Ludosity. That's LUDOSITY.com. Check them out. They got some cool games. So just want to give them a little shout out. So Cazo Jones, overall, does this game get your seal of approval?
Sure.
Yeah.
Here you go. My seal of approval.
Ha.
Oh, look at him.
Seal of approval.
He's got a little like approval badge on him. Oh,
What a cute little
it's like
seal.
a little ribbon that says approval. Oh, what's his
cutest-
name? Approval. I mean, you didn't really think.
Oh, you didn't like that through, Kaz. That's
Okay. All right then.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on for this now.
Oh.
That's cool. That's cool. I think that's cool. Two cool games this week here on the show. I think we're that was really cool. By the way, the seal of approval. That was freaking hilarious. Maybe the producer will plug in some kind of a seal sound. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
No approval. Down. Crap. He's eating a penguin again.
Why are you doing that, approval? God damn it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it is now time for us to give some shoutouts.
Shoutouts initiating.
No. so of course, we want to give a shout out to the entire Podbeard Network, as well as to all our buddies listening to the show. Very much appreciate. You know who you are.
We know where you live.
We know where you live and who you are, and you know who you are and where you live as well, I hope. Of course, I want to give a shout out to all of our podcast buddies. Big shout outs to Josh, actually from Still Loading Podcast. I was on his show last week. We had a great chat. We actually talked a lot about I ended up commandeering the podcast like halfway through, and I started talking. I basically made him interview me. It was really funny. I didn't make him, but I led him on an interview of me. Who's
TJ?
Who's TJ? Oh, Hodder. No. But it was really good. We talked about Cazatober, George, of course, as well, so that was really cool. So big shout out to him. He has a great podcast. He's moving on from the 40 for 40 series as well. So he's doing like more modern games and stuff, which is really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to give, of course, another big shout out to our boys, the Amazing Nerd Show. They're doing a horror month right now. So if you're into horror and stuff, you want to go check that out. They're killing it right now. Absolutely killing it. I hope we get a rebuttal from them for you guys for next week. We'll see what happens. Of course, I want to give a shout out to the No Geeks Allowed. They're on vacation right now as we record this, actually. So, shout out to them. They've been should be working on stuff when they get back. Hopefully, we can make the War for the Labo happen again soon when they get back from their vacation. They're handling big sticks and stuff like that. So looks like they're having a good time. They're playing shuffleboard, and I was like, I knew you guys were good with handling big sticks.
And they're like, we hate you.
They're like, we literally hate everything about you, Hodder. Of course, I want to give a shout out to the Bearded Geeks. They got a real nice beard down under. They just kind of made their comeback, and they've been killing it. So definitely go ahead and check them out. Probably you're going to see a couple home movies from them coming up. Cool. Home reviews. Shouts to the Beard Master, who is a great dude. I always love chatting with him. And of course, I want to give a shout out to the Drinks with Larry. Says Drinks with Larry. I just repeat the first two lines of that song. I don't like it. I just repeat it. I'm like, whatever, fuck it. But I want to give a shout out to them because they always support us and we do seriously appreciate it. They've been killing it lately too. They've had 2 huge interviews the past couple months with ex-wrestlers, Buff Bagwell and Ken Shamrock fairly recently, as well as other great content. So definitely go ahead and check them out. They're killing it. I want to see if I'm forgetting anybody. Of course, I want to give a shout out to the Life as Casual Gamers, who I haven't given a shout out to in a while. Definitely always appreciate the support, boys. And I think that's it. I think I want to give a shout out. Any shout you want to give this week, Cass? Anybody? Anybody? Do you need anybody?
Just to approval. Thank you. He's been a loyal seal this whole time. Oh no, he just ate Steve.
Damn it. Fucking goddamn it.
Steve, no! Yeah, I know. No, that's pretty much it for me. I think I'm
Cool.
all out of podcast juice for the day.
Yeah. And with that, everybody, I have been Hodder.
And I have been Kaz.
And we'll catch you next time on Two Guys and a Game. Bye, everybody.
Last word.